Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are watching me live, happy Wednesday. And you know what that means, of course, it is Spirit Wisdom Wednesday, which is a day where we gather here together in the healing space and allow some beautiful spirit wisdom to flow through. If you are new to me, I'd love to introduce myself and welcome you to the healing space. My name is Meredith, and this is my heart-centered business called the Healing Hummingbird. And what I love to do is help spiritual go-getters and healers reclaim their power to heal themselves, accept that transformational energy and the big brave heart of the hummingbird spirit. So thank you again so much for joining me. And I know we had a little bit of a delay, but that is because I was going to announce this later, but I just can't. I'm gonna have to announce it right now. So anyone from the Cincinnati area might have heard of the Victory of Light Festival. That one is kind of notorious for how long it used to take to get into it, but Spirit has been pulling some strings, and I am so happy to announce that I will be an exhibitor at the Victory of Light this year in November. I'm going to have my own booth, and it's going to have the Healing Hummingbird on it. I'm going to be there, and the reason why there was a delay today is because I was picking up a massage table that Spirit also put together for me in the perfect time at the perfect place. So I'm so excited for that. Let's see, I have the dates here. It's Saturday and Sunday, November 20th and 21st at the Sharonville Convention Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. And if you see on their website, I think it's Body, Mind, Spirit Expo that now is running the Victory of Light. You can research, like the practitioner's name or the business name to see the booth number. But my booth, I believe, is 1011. So how about that? One became available at the last minute, and I was able to spontaneously say yes. So that's my big announcement, and I'm so excited about it. And it kind of works together with what Spirit wanted to talk about this week, which is being seen. If you're anything like me, you might have had trouble with this in the past or come up with blockages every once in a while. So Spirit wants to help us out with those and remind us why it's so important to allow ourselves to be seen. So the first point they wanted to make is that being seen can supercharge your manifestations or catapult them forward. So if you're feeling like anything's clogged in the pipes, maybe this is kind of the kick that you need, is to kind of put yourself out there. Or even if that seems a bit too much, put yourself out there, allow yourself to be seen. And that could be what you need to get going. So it could start just as small as simply talking about what you're doing, talking about what you're manifesting. And for you business owners out there, Spirit wanted to remind you to acknowledge your practice and to not try to sugarcoat anything woo-woo to try to make other people feel more comfortable, if that makes sense. It feels good to really put yourself out there in a way that feels authentic. And if you're watering it down to the point where you're not even really allowing yourself to say what you do anymore, it may not feel, it's all up to you and what you're feeling. It may not feel like you're truly honoring who you are and what you're here to do. So Spirit definitely wanted to acknowledge that first. Also, this has been happening to me so much lately. A clue that you need to be seen more is excess energy, feeling really restless, feeling like you have a million things to do when you don't necessarily have that much to do. It's that feeling. Ooh, and also they're bringing up that it could conversely, you could be feeling resentful in a position that you have. So that could be, anything, a relationship, work. But what they are, so they actually want me to stop and talk about that a little bit more if you're feeling resentful. So that could be a clue that you're being seen in a way that's not honoring who you are or what your purpose is at this time. So that could be cause to revisit some boundaries, or maybe laying out a blueprint for a life that you truly love. So if this is like a job or something where you're just not feeling acknowledged or seen in the way that you truly need to be, Spirit wants to work with you to dream up a new life, a new situation where you would feel seen. Oh my gosh. Well, how about that? Let's see. That's about dropping the ball. So I feel like there's someone here who might have been dealing with a ball that's been dropped on you, maybe at work. You've been feeling like you need to pick up the pieces for other people. That's a really specific message that just came through. Spirit's acknowledging that that's not honoring who you truly are and what you're there to do. And it's okay to acknowledge that. If at first, if you don't feel comfortable speaking to a manager or something like that, you could talk to your spirit guides and just say, hey, this is what I feel good about. This is what could use some revising. Can we work on this? And they're saying, totally, we can. But let's say that you're in the first category and you're just feeling like me, like a lot of excess energy, like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff to do. They're like, go for a drive, go into the grocery store or TJ Maxx or something, pick up something small and just start talking to the people in your community. You'd be surprised how far reaching that is. And it may not seem super relevant to like your life purpose, but what you're doing is interacting with your community in a way that's really beautiful. And they also wanted to suggest visualizing, if you're a seer, your energy going out into your community and coming back in a really beautiful way. And they're showing me an infinity symbol like this. Also rest. They said that in all caps. I know I need to receive that message myself as well. So the third point they wanted to make about being seen, or recommendation, to make it a bit easier, is to practice some positive affirmations. And they want to clarify, it doesn't have to be like this staged, I stand in the mirror and I look at myself and I quote Louise Hay every day. It really doesn't need to be like that. It could just be little corrections here or there, if you hear the voice in your head or your thoughts. Of course, that's not you, you are the observer. If you hear something kind of negative coming in, you can just hold space for that and observe it and go, actually, this is what I believe about myself. I believe I have a beautiful, balanced, harmonious relationship with my community, and I see others the way I would like to be seen as well. And also a Louise Hay they wanted to throw in there is, I am beautiful and everybody loves me. So that's a fun one to say. And now the last point they wanted to make is, for those of you who have trouble allowing yourself to be seen, and I have to say sometimes I have trouble with it as well, something that can really help unlock that is inner child work. So you could do a meditation with your childhood self. You could visualize yourself when you were about 2 or 3 years old standing in front of you. And what you can do is look at that child, that little version of you, and tell yourself, that child, everything you needed to hear when you were 3 years old. You can hug them, you can play with them, listen to them, and ask them, what do you want to do? Are you having fun? It could be that the inner child feels buried and needs some air and needs to be seen, because that's truly who all of us are, is that inner child. And also Spirit wanted to recommend forgiveness and respect exercises with your spirit guides. If there, is something that needs to be released from childhood, that can really be helpful. So they want me to talk a little bit more about that, because it's easy to think, like if I can think from an example from my childhood, I can think of a person. Well, it may not either be literally possible to speak to that person to work that out, and it also may not be the healthiest thing. That may not be the healthiest number one starting point. So what you can do is work with your spirit guides and say, hey, I would really like to work on forgiveness and respect with this person. Could you set that up? And your spirit guides can. They can set up a meeting between your higher self and their higher self. And that can either be done, like while you're dreaming, or they can kind of walk you through a meditation. It kind of just depends on how comfortable you are. Dream time is a great tool, I love to say. So if you're feeling like, sorry, my kitty cat's playing with a ball in the living room over here. And that's another message about playfulness and inviting your joy guides into your life as well. So yes, forgiveness and respect exercises. If it feels too much in the waking reality, Ask your spirit guides to do it with you during dream time, and they will. So those were a lot of tips on being seen. So it seems like a big theme that's coming up right now. The forgiveness and respect is something that I wanted to fold in with my spirit guides because we have so much retrograde energy right now. And that brings back a lot of things from the past. And just depending on, you know, your chart and where the planets are for you, it can get very specific as far as relationships go. So just checking in here. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Heather. Lovely to see you ladies live. Okay. So let's go ahead and get ready for our week ahead messages. Spirit wants to do a little something different this time, but I do want to start with our traditional deep breath in. And a smooth exhale out. Let's do one more. Inhale in. And exhale out. Invite your spirit guides to come near you now and just ask or hold the question, which group holds my messages for the week ahead? You could see, hear, feel, or just know that it's 1, 2, or 3, or you could feel activated by an object that I am going to show you. So for group number 1, we have this painting. For group number 2, we have this painting. That's kind of a purpley color. I don't know if the camera's picking that up very well. Okay. And then for group number 3, we have the final painting here. All right, so we should have our groups selected. Let's go ahead and start with group number 1. If you chose this first painting here, let's go ahead and get your week ahead messages. And actually, what Spirit would love to do, if you feel open to this, for group number 1, you've actually chosen a painting that represents the heart chakra. So Spirit, and particularly I have a shaman guide here, one of my healing guides, wants to help you work on that chakra and let it blossom open, she's saying. So all you have to do to receive this healing energy right now is just to affirm, I receive energetic healing through Meredith's video right now. So if you can affirm that with me, I'm just going to connect to you, or my spirit guides will connect with your spirit guides. And we'll just send some energy to that heart chakra. Just breathing with that energy. They're saying you might feel a warmth start in the heart and kind of spread across the chest. They are wanting me to use some holy wood for you for group number 1 in the heart chakra. So there's this invitation to open up for you, group number 1, with the heart. There could be matters of the heart coming up this week. I'm also feeling like maybe somebody in this group will feel the need to kind of stifle that. It almost feels like an inconvenience. So maybe you feel yourself getting emotional at the wrong time. I mean, truly, there's never a wrong time. So I'm just enforcing this energetic light. I'm going to do a little mini illumination here for the heart chakra. And I'm just going to set the intention for that to continue through the rest of your reading. Okay, so we are going to start with our beautiful embroidered forest tarot. And then I have a new deck here that Spirit wanted to go ahead and use. I think it's called Lessons. It's a deck about lessons, and that's some serious retrograde energy. So let's see, for group number 1 with the heart chakra painting, as that healing is coming, Spirit, could we have some tarot for their week ahead? Okay, we're picking the cards. And we will start with the Four of Cups and the Nine of Cups and the Six of Swords. I've never seen this one before in this deck. Interesting. Okay, they want to talk about the Six of Swords right off the bat. And usually they pick the card that's in the middle, but they're choosing this card. So let's talk about the Six of Swords for a moment. This is a card that's about leaving. If you're familiar with tarot, the Eight of Cups is also about leaving, but that feels more like a choice. For swords, this sort of feels like an obligation. So maybe you've been forced to move on from something, a transitional period that feels a little bit harder. I mean, you know, leaving anything has its struggles, but there's a mental aspect to this that's a little bit harder to digest. So maybe that's what's going on with the heart. Maybe that's why that needs to be opened up a little bit in order to facilitate a more comfortable transition, is the way that they're putting it. Okay, let's see what else. But you also have the Nine of Cups here, which is a wish fulfillment card. So maybe something, this is interesting, maybe something is manifesting for you, but it means that you have to leave something else behind that's difficult. And so Spirit wants to acknowledge, and I just heard heavy heart. So it could be that you feel like you have to leave somebody or some place behind in order to chase after this manifestation that's coming through for you. And Spirit wants to acknowledge all the hard work and dedication that you've put into that. They want to let you know that they're there. They're literally holding your heart right now. So I hope that you can feel that warmth kind of from the backside of the body coming forward. But they're saying, you know, this may feel like a sacrifice now. It might feel a little cold, like you have to cut someone off or cut something off. Spirit's saying, you know, right now that's kind of part of the process. And it's okay that you feel that way. That's not like a bad sign that you're doing the wrong thing. And they're saying sometimes we need to feel discomfort in order to evolve and change. So I'm just going to leave that. That was a beautifully channeled message from one of my spirit guides. And she's like, just say it and don't explain it. Got it. Okay. Also, I want to acknowledge this Four of Cups over here. Let's see. Okay. The Four of Cups. Interesting. Let me look at this for a second. So the Four of Cups usually means feeling complacent or feeling kind of bored. So that might be where you're coming from. Maybe you were waiting for this manifestation to come in and you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's finally arrived. You're going to get your wish. But now it's kind of like this reality of, oh, here's the implications of this big life change that might be a little difficult to cope with lately. So let's go ahead and get a lesson card to kind of clarify what we're working through, specifically with retrograde energy for group number 1 with the heart chakra. This is the deck that we are using. It's called the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards. So let's get your lesson for the week ahead. All right, so for group number 1, what do they need to know for their highest good for the week ahead? Okay. Acceptance. Look at those beautiful colors. Lots of indigo and violet happening here. There is some kind of chartreuse green in the middle too. So you definitely feel like you're in the upper half of your body in that more spiritual realm compared to the lower half of the body. So your affirmation is, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Okay. So maybe this manifestation came in, maybe there's a big move on your business, or you have an opportunity to move somewhere. And this is kind of specific, but they're wanting me to bring this up. There could be someone in your life that's not reacting maybe the way that you had hoped, or maybe they're not as on board as they once were. And there's this feeling of like, what can I do to help them be more comfortable with me moving on, with me shifting in a new direction? And Spirit saying, sometimes you just can't change it. And sometimes you just have to leave it behind. And they're clarifying that just, if you have to move away from somebody, maybe you're moving out, or maybe even quitting a job or something like that. Even though that feels really permanent and it feels pretty intense, it doesn't have to be forever. You can be separated from someone for a little while, and then, once your lessons are integrated independently, then you can kind of come back into each other's lives. So Spirit did want to clarify that. It feels like maybe someone here, or that's watching this later, might be kind of worried about losing someone or losing something. And so Spirit's saying, this is for your highest good. So we would never just cut someone out of your life just to hurt you. It could just be that we need some time that is completely separate from this person to kind of, it feels like for group number 1 with this heart, they're also bringing in this copper energy, which for me is really connected to the root. So it feels like rooting into the heart of who you are. And there's an aspect of that needs to be done on your own. So that could be why this kind of hermity energy is coming up. And then we did get a feather messenger here to wrap it up. And you got falcon for group number 1. And the falcon says, use your keen perception and skill in making decisions. Do not delay. Okay. So, look how similar these colors are. We have the violet up here, and then we have the light green down here. So it's like, I really feel like your intuition is going to be lit up this week, group number 1. And they're showing it kind of percolating down from the third eye and anchoring into the heart space and translating into a kind of knowing what to do next. So there's this message from Spirit that's coming in right now. They're saying, trust your gut and get it done. So there's an aspect with group number 1 situation where it feels like you kind of know what you have to do and it might feel uncomfortable, but Spirit is fully supporting you and holding your heart while that happens, because it feels like it may not be the easiest thing to do, but it's definitely in the interest of the highest good of all, and especially for your own heart healing. Okay, group number 1, I'm just going to check on your heart chakra one more time. We're just going to illuminate that with golden love and light. We're going to close up that chakra and then release you energetically. So thank you for connecting with me and my spirit guides. I want to thank your spirit guides as well for facilitating that healing for your heart chakra for group number 1. You also might be feeling a little tongue-tied or having trouble figuring out what to say in this situation. So that would just be another affirmation that someone has chosen the right group, is what Spirit is saying. So those were your messages for the week ahead. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for group number 2, if you chose the second painting, let's go ahead and get your week ahead message. And same deal, if you would like to receive some energy healing here, my spirit guides would love to work with yours. So all you have to do is just affirm, I receive energy healing from Meredith's video right now. So I'm just facilitating this connection. We're just going to connect to you energetically. And of course, this painting with the violet and the gold and white is the crown chakra. So we are going to work on opening the crown chakra, and they're showing it like a beautiful lotus. So a lot of floral imagery today about blossoming open. So let's go ahead and get some holy wood going for the crown chakra. I'm hearing something about experiencing spirit messages in a way that's unfamiliar. So it could be that you've never had spirit messages before and you're going to start receiving them. Or it could be that you're used to getting them one way, but you start getting them another way, if that makes sense. So maybe you're used to hearing and suddenly you see, or you're used to seeing and suddenly you hear something. So you may experience that in the coming week. So we're just clearing out that crown energy. I'm going to set the intention for this to be illuminated with pure love and light, and for your healing to continue through the rest of your reading. And they're showing it like this feeling of something kind of like dripping down your head. So you might be feeling that right now, group number 2, with this crown work that we're doing. So that's just confirmation that your spirit guides are working on you, and that all is well. So let's go ahead and get some tarot for the week ahead for group number 2 with the crown chakra. All right, Spirit, what does group number 2 need to hear for their highest good? All right. So starting with the tarot, we get the 9 of Wands in reverse, the Moon. Interesting. And the Wheel of Fortune. This is a pretty big week for group number 2. You got 2 major arcana, and we only pulled 3 cards. So this is a significant week. Let me take a look. They're mostly talking about this moon energy, and it feels like something is going to be revealed. And they're connecting these 2 cards. So they're connecting the moon and the Wheel of Fortune. There's again this circular energy with you, group number 2. So that could affirm to somebody that they're in the right place. There's this circle energy, the sacred circles coming up again. That came up last week and I wasn't quite sure what they meant, but they were like, just say it and then let it go. So I did. So with the moon energy, what they're saying is something will be revealed to you that you didn't know before. So in the next week, the coming week from the day that you watch this video, something is going to be revealed to you that's going to help you realize that the Wheel of Fortune is now turning in your favor. So this is about balancing karma. So it could be, you know, you've repaid a karmic debt. It could be literally a debt. Maybe you're paying something off and now you're finally feeling the wheel turn like in the right direction for you. Maybe you're starting to feel that freedom. So it feels like something is going to be taken care of. Something is going to be taken off my plate, but in a good way. It feels like something is, but it's like something that's out of your control. Does that make sense? They're showing the circles again. So whatever's revealed to you could be some kind of break. It could be like extra money coming in or something like that, or like a bill that you thought you had to pay was actually covered by your insurance. Some kind of deal like that where a burden is taken off of your plate that you were planning to pay off. And you're like, okay, things are working out for me. That is an affirmation that they want to repeat. That would be good for group number 2. Things are always working out for me. So that would be a great daily affirmation. I'm seeing you say that in your car. So maybe you have some car stuff going on. I love to see this for you. This 9 of Wands in reverse, this card upright usually means paranoia. So we're coming out of that energy and it feels like all of that is kind of falling away. So it feels like there's going to be this huge sense of relief for group number 2. Let's see if we can get some more information about that with our lessons card. So for group number 2, Spirit, what do they need to know for their highest good for the week ahead? For group number 2, we have service. Oh, I've never used this deck. I just cleared it before I went live, but I love the artwork. Look at those colors. Service. I feel good when I can help others. It really feels, group number 2, that someone may surprise you with the service, this unknown thing that's being revealed to you. Maybe you've done a favor for someone in the past and they're going to surprise you by coming back and repaying the favor, but in a way that really relieves you in such a huge way. Or it could be the car is coming up again. Maybe there's something with the car for somebody. It could be that you're a regular customer there and they want to like make something right, if that makes sense. It feels like something that once was stressful, you're finding out is no longer stressful. It's actually better than it used to be. So maybe you will be provided with some kind of upgrade, and that will leave you feeling awesome and like you are ready to pay it forward. So what a beautiful message for group number 2 with the crown chakra. I'm feeling that crown area tingling again, so I hope you can feel that. There's some pretty major clearing going on kind of like in the back right side of the head. So maybe you feel headaches back there. They're also talking about, I just heard sleep apnea, or maybe problems with sleeping. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night. So they're helping you with that right now. And then to round out your reading for group number 2, we have the Blackbird. And the Blackbird says, the magical and unique qualities of your untapped potential are unfolding now. Wow. So it feels like you're going to start noticing more synchronicities and spirit messages like we talked about before. And this thing that's going to be revealed to you, this kind of service that you didn't realize was going on, is going to help you kind of realize. They're saying, it's like I'm hearing your inner monologue while it's happening. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that the universe was really working in my favor this whole time for my highest good. I thought this was going to be such a pain, but it's not. And I'm so happy that I trusted that this is going to work out. So that's your major takeaway message, group number 2, is just trust and allow that this is going to work out for you. So what a beautiful affirmation for you. I'm just going to close up again. I'm going to let you kind of, they're saying to hold this up so you can look at it while we close up and illuminate the crown chakra. There's also something about a piece of gold jewelry that might feel good to wear. I'm seeing some kind of necklace. So maybe it's something that's inherited or some kind of family piece. Spirit's talking about that, saying that there's healing qualities in that. Okay, we're going to close that out with pure love and light. I'm going to release you energetically. Thank you so much for connecting with me and my spirit guides. I thank your spirit guides as well for facilitating that crown chakra healing. So thank you, group number 2, for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for our final group, group number 3, if you chose this third painting here. Also, this is kind of funny. Spirit was like, a couple people are trying to watch all the way through, and they're like, let them know that that's fine, that doesn't have to be some kind of secret. If they want to receive all the messages and all the healing, that's totally fine. So someone has kind of a cheeky spirit guide that just popped in and was like, let them know that that is okay. So girl, it's okay. They just wanted to let you know. So if you chose this third and final painting, let's start with your chakra healing, and then we'll get into your week ahead reading. So for this is the throat chakra. So let me go ahead. Well, let's affirm if you are open to this. If you would like to receive this healing, all you have to do is affirm. I receive healing through Meredith's reading through her video right now. And then I will facilitate this connection. We'll allow my spirit guides to connect with yours and start working on that energetic field, specifically the throat chakra. This group immediately feels a bit heavier. There's really something going on here. I'm actually going to take a drink. So that's the number 1 thing they want to say off the bat is hydrate. They're also talking about supplements. So if you've been putting off taking some vitamins, group number 3, they really want to encourage you to do that. There's also, this is specific, but they still want me to say it. There's also something about maybe a supplement being too big or like hurting to take. And they're saying, you know, if that doesn't work, you can always cut it. Well, depending on the supplement, of course, you know, consult, you know, either the package instructions or whoever prescribed it to you. but maybe look into taking a gummy or something that might be more palatable, maybe even a powder that you dissolve into water. There's something about taking supplements that's really important for group number 2. So let's go ahead and start opening up that throat chakra. I'm also smelling peppermint. That might be helpful for you for group number 3. There's also a, this group is so active. You have so much going on. So you must be having a pretty wild retrograde season, group number 3. Aren't we all though? Okay. Just clearing that out with some holy wood here. There's also a loved one here for somebody who used to smoke. They're bringing that up, or they may have had, I'm hearing like a really bad cough. This person feels male. They feel like they would be your age or older is what they're saying. So I'm just going to set the intention for this throat chakra clearing to continue throughout your reading. And then let's go ahead and get your tarot. So for group number 3, woo, had a couple fall on the floor there. So you may be experiencing things that feel a little bit inconvenient. Group number 3, or something might feel out of reach is what I'm hearing. Oh, they want me to look at your bottom deck energy as well. Oh, we didn't do that for anyone else. Okay, interesting. Aren't spirit guides always so interesting? Okay, so your first card is the Page of Wands. I know the lettering is hard to read because it's like glittery, but it's, you know, the fox character. Page of Wands. Then we have the Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. You got a lot of people. Oh my gosh. And then the King of Swords. All right. You've got some people going on in your life. So Page, Queen, and King all represent different people in your life. So that's why they wanted me to look at your bottom deck energy. The overall energy we have is 7 of Cups. So they want to anchor in the 7 of Cups, and then we'll talk about these people, is the way they said it. So the 7 of Cups has to do with lots of options. It could even feel like you have so many options that it's a little overwhelming. And in the original card, there's a person looking at all of these cups, and they're filled with different things, and they're just kind of like gazing at them like, oh my gosh. Like it's almost hypnotizing, but it's also kind of like overwhelming at the same time. So there may be this feeling of, I don't know what to do. So you might be getting advice from all these different people, and you're not quite sure, or you have the opportunity to connect with 3 different people in your life. And for some reason, you're feeling like you have to do one at a time, or maybe it's healing one at a time, something with the throat. So, okay, they're talking about events with 3 different people in your week ahead. Okay, bear with me. This is a lot of message that's coming through all at the same time. So let's start first with the Page. They're saying this will be, you know, the smallest interaction. A page is someone who's a bit younger, maybe a bit inexperienced, but a Page of Wands is someone who would be a real go-getter, someone who's really passionate, who really takes action and goes after things. They have so many ideas. They may need some help anchoring those ideas into reality though. So this is the first person you'll be dealing with this week with the throat chakra. They want me to pull another card with the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so you have so many people going on, group number 3, and it feels like I'm being talked over. So so Spirit wants to help you find your voice through the week ahead in the midst of all of these interpersonal things that are going to be layered on top of you like lasagna. is what they're saying. And so to clarify this page, they're saying with the Three of Pentacles, this person's just excited to learn with you. They want to collaborate with you. So they just wanted to clarify that this person has good intentions. And this is also maybe even a fire sign, or they may feel like a fire sign. So that's our first person. They want me to put that out of the way. Now, interesting. They're saying none of these cards represent you. So you will know you're in the right group if you have so many things going on with people. You might have to talk to people all the time for work. You may have a lot of clients that you have to talk to. You may be answering the phone, something like that. It's almost like I feel like I'm forced to be a people person to the point where I'm like getting hoarse, like I'm getting talked out. So this girl in the middle here, this Queen of Wands, she's awesome when she's upright. You know, this is someone who's like a boss babe, who really goes after what she wants. She's more experienced than the page. She actually attracts what she wants and receives what she wants. But a Queen in reverse of Wands specifically, this is someone who, when you're interacting with them in the week ahead, you're going to feel their anger. So you might come across this person at a time when something has just happened to them and they're really, really upset. And so there's this really like spitfire energy. They might be someone who cusses a lot. So let's clarify. Okay, not more people, Spirit. Let's clarify that. Okay, Two of Pentacles. So they want you to know for this person that they're juggling a lot and they're not super aware of how they're coming off. So to try to just kind of let that go with this person, it's not in your best interest to entertain all that anger and to get into a fight. So again, with the Pentacles energy, this really feels like people at your workplace. So if you're in group number 3, let me know. This is a lot going on. We haven't even gotten into the last person yet, which is the King of Swords. This is someone who's an excellent communicator, who's mastered communication actually, and kind of reigns over their domain. So this could be someone who might even be a bit older than you. They might be in an authoritative position. Let's ask them to clarify this person. What will this interaction be like? This interaction will be awesome. This will be the Sun. So if this is your boss, if this is resonating with you, you might be called into a meeting and you're like, oh man, I don't know what they're going to say. And they wind up giving you lots of compliments on your work. So, oh my gosh, group number 3, what is going on? They're still working on the throat chakra. So this is interesting. Sometimes when I'm working on someone and they need throat chakra healing, they'll start talking a lot. So I feel like Spirit's having me do that for you. Like I'm talking. They're like, we're just massaging this out, girl. Just keep going. Okay, so let's get your lesson card to clarify, like, what is going on with all these people? Why are all these interactions so significant for you in the week ahead? Ooh, okay. Interesting. We have doubt. And it says, I release the need to know all the answers. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at this. You see the sunflower here and the sunflower in here? Interesting. So here's what's going on, group number 3. It feels like you have really started to expand spiritually. I'm seeing your aura as like this beautiful beacon of light, so bright. So maybe you've really been working on yourself, really working on acceptance and positive energy. And people are starting to see that and they're starting to come to you for answers. That's what's going on here. You know, we have the younger person who wants to collaborate with you. They want to work with you. Then we have that queen who's really mad, but she just wants to vent to you to get some advice on how to balance her life better. And then we have this authoritative person, maybe a boss or someone older than you, maybe an elder in the family, who's actually going to give you compliments, who's seeing you shine so brightly. So, oh my gosh, I almost want to cry. What a beautiful message, group number 3. So they're saying, you're going to see all these people flock to you, but you don't need to know all the answers. Even though people are going to ask you for answers, it's okay to just say, I don't know. I don't know, man, but I'll listen to you if you have the capacity to do so. So let's say you're in the middle of your week and that Queen of Wands in reverse comes to you hot, super mad. It's okay to go, you know what? I've had a tough day and I don't really have the capacity to have this conversation right now. Can I talk to you like tomorrow, later in the week? It's okay to try to, move that person in order to honor you, because you're such a sunflower. You're really shining right now. And that's why all these people are so drawn to you. And in this retrograde energy, this may even be people from your past, is something they wanted me to bring up. Interesting. So let's round out your message, group number 3. It's starting to feel like the throat chakra is clearing up now. I feel like I can swallow a bit easier. I feel like I can breathe a bit easier. Okay, let's see who your feather messenger is this week. Okay, you have the starling. And it says, now is the time to get out into the world and connect in authentic ways. That is so beautiful. Okay, so excuse me, look at all this yellow. That's you. That's radiating from you. That's how brightly you are shining. And so Spirit is bringing that to your attention almost as kind of like a heads up. Like when you're shining that bright, people are going to be drawn to you. That's just how that works. So it might be a good time to revisit some spiritual boundaries. You might have some visitors that you just want to set certain times where it would be best to talk to them, or even just physical, literal visitors at your house, I'm hearing. So it's okay to only answer the door at certain times, only answer the phone at certain times, and keep your cup full. Fill your cup before you fill somebody else's saucer. So I've shared this imagery before, but Spirit's showing it again for group number 3 with your throat chakra. It's almost as if your cup is this big, beautiful golden goblet, and it's only when that is completely full and overflowing that you can share with other people. It's like, this light is coming in from the universe, like coming down and filling up your cup, and it's starting to pull over, and you're like holding out this saucer underneath to give to other people. So instead of handing someone your goblet so they can just drink right out of your energy reserve, wait girl, hold out that saucer and ask yourself, is the sauce, like, am I full? Have I filled my own cup yet? No? Okay, well then I'll take tonight to rest and then I'll get back to this person tomorrow. So, oh my gosh, there's so much communicative energy and so much interpersonal relationship energy for group number 2. Excuse me, there's a lot being released. So they wanted me to show you this painting again as we go ahead and finish up the energy clearing for your throat chakra. There's also something about carbonation that might feel a little bit irritating in the week ahead. So for some reason, they're recommending like iced teas rather than like, flavored seltzer water or pop or something like that. They're showing me like juice, but like really high quality, like cold pressed juices or tea. They're really talking about tea a lot. So that could really be beneficial for group number 3. I'm also tasting lemon. So again, that fruit juice is coming through, but they wanted to clarify, it's like when you cut a lemon and literally squeeze it into a glass. That's the kind of lemon juice they're talking about. Okay, so that does feel better. I didn't do this for the other groups, but they're wanting me to. As I illuminate the chakra, I'm going to ask your ancestors' permission to continue working on your throat chakra. If you are open to that, all you have to affirm is yes, yes, and they will. Okay, group number 3, Thank you so much for allowing me and my spirit guides to connect with you and your spirit guides. And thank you to Spirit for being here and our ancestors to facilitate a beautiful healing of the throat chakra. So those were all of your messages. Oh my gosh, who are you? What's going on in your life? Tell me everything. I'm so curious. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. All right. Hey, Lola, I'm so glad you could make it. Oh, Dawn says, I've been feeling resentful, which isn't very common for me. Yeah, I don't feel like I typically feel like that either. And I know that we share some similarities energetically and astrologically. So yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I can't say what it would mean for everybody, of course, but it's definitely like, it's almost like, you know, when your smoke alarm starts beeping because you need to change the batteries? I don't know why they're bringing that up, but they're like, check the batteries. So it's definitely a sign to check out what's going on. So thank you all so much for joining me. If you can make it to the Victory of Light Festival, please let me know, because my booth is in a really, really busy area and I have a feeling I'm going to be very busy all day long. So if you can make it, please tell me ahead of time. I would love to see you. I would love to meet you live. And of course, you know, if you're familiar with my business as it's been so far, everything has been distance modalities. So this will be the first time, well, not technically the first time, but I will be doing in-person readings, in-person shamanic clearings. They will be shorter, but in-person sometimes just works better for certain different energetic types. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing your beautiful energy with me. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.